day busy for our children, I know that you also benefit. And to begin with, children are a gift from the Lord. I want to read, share my screen, it's coming on, but I want to read Psalm 127 from 3 to 5. When it comes on, you alert me, you let me know when my screen is shared. Yeah, but we shall continue as we wait for it. So Psalm 127, 3 to 5 says, children are a gift from the Lord, they are a reward from him. Then it says, children born a young man are like arrows in a warrior's hands. How joyful is the man whose quiver is full of them. He will not be put to shame when he confronts his accusers at a statement. So that means we are all, as I mentioned, as long as we are taking care of someone who is still a child, that means we are all parents. But here, the Bible is talking about the biological parents. If you already have a child, just know that the child is from the Lord and it's a gift from him. It's a reward from the Lord himself. And these children who are born from you as a parent, they're like arrows in your hands. You know, a warrior, the Bible is comparing this, you as a warrior in warrior's hands. They bring security, they bring defense, they bring protection around you, because when you have them, your marriage can be stable, your mind is stable, because part of why we give birth, why you get married, is to give birth and have children. So they bring security, they bring harmony, especially in your African context, they bring joy. And before you know it, you feel like, yes, I am in this marriage and I'm free there because I have children. And that's why verse 5 says, how joyful is the man whose favor is full of them. He will not be put to shame when he confronts his accusers at the stake gate. Another version says when he's confronted by his enemies. So because you have children who are like arrows in your hands, you feel comfortable. You feel like you're protected and you have security around you. So they're a gift. But even then, when you don't have children yet, maybe by God's grace, you haven't given children, I am sure one day God will remember you and will reward your home and you get this children. So it doesn't matter. And I pray that you not feel very bad. I know you're in this marriage, but God knows you very well. And I want to remember to say that we are all stewards of these children that God has given us. But as we're talking about engaging children, I want us to remember Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. It talks about the second. So I want to read it, and I will read from NLT, or New Living Translation. Then I just want you to listen to these words and see what the Bible is talking about, and that will help us to understand how best we can keep our children engaged. It says, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Another one says, laggards, learn from their ways and be wise. Even though they have no prince, governor, or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. Now, I want you to read summer, all summer, as this whole day. And I want you to just compare this story with your children. They labor hard all day, gathering food for the winter. So, and I want you to put yourself in the shoes of this person. What are your children doing in this whole day? Are they laboring hard? Or you are so much protected because you don't want to suffer like the way you suffer? Because I have a friend of mine who was doing me recently that for him he suffered a lot, and so he doesn't want his children to suffer like the way he suffered. But to me, I think that's not a good theology or something very good. I think you cannot compare your past with your present now. Things are different. Then verse 9 says, but you as a bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? I want you to learn this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. So, friends, as we are talking about children and how we can keep them engaged, I really feel like this is what we should always be thinking at the back of our mind. Our children are going to be like bandits that the Bible is talking about, or robbers. Are they going to, is poverty going to pounce on them? Are they going to live in scarcity? Are they going to slumber and sleep? Are they going to be just rest for the hands and then everything is served to them by the maids at home? Think about it. So, and as we're thinking about engaging children and making them busy, just ask yourself, how are we going to do it? I want to remind us that this holiday has 2 months for those children who are not candidates, who have not finished their exams. But for those who have finished exams like senior 4s and senior 6s, their vacation is long, especially the ones who are in senior 6. The vacation is almost more than 8 months because they are moved to the university in August. But remember, some of them they started their vacation early. And now when you also put up this month of December, they will almost have 8 months back at home. Though some universities begin early, like at UCY work, they start early at our semesters begin in May and then August. I know other universities which begin in February. So, but whichever way, at least you have these students at least for the next 2 months, or for more than at least maybe for close to 3 months. So, what are you going to do with your children in that short time that you're going to be with them? Again, I want you to remember that the children we're parenting, all of us, we don't have time, especially the working class. We have limited time with these children because we're not at home. You wake up very early, especially like for me, I stay in Mukono. But I imagine if I was to work in Kampala, and these days there's too much jam. For me to be in office at 8, I have to make sure that by maybe 5:30 latest, I'm on the road to avoid jam. And then by 7:50, I'm in town, I'm in Kampala. And if you're going beyond the center, maybe you're going to Jinja, Entebbe Road, those sides of Jengera, and you need, that means that you need a lot of time. That means 5 a.m. you're out of your bed, you're on the road. And then coming back, also, if you are eating at 5 p.m., again, there's that jam. So by the time you reach home, last night my friend was telling us that he left Kampala at 7 p.m. He reached here in Mukono at 11, almost at 11:15. Now you can imagine all those hours. So that means if you have very young children, you may hardly have time for these children. So those are the challenges we are having, and of course you come home, you're tired, don't even think about getting time to meet with these children, or by the time they're already asleep, they also get asleep, and so you literally have no time with these children, and that limits your child-parent interactions. So this means that unless you're very intentional to create time for your children, either during the whole day or maybe right now, you can never have time to engage these children. So you must always make sure that intentionally you create time for your children. If you don't want to do it now, time will come when you forcefully create that time. And of course, I'm saying that if you don't have that time to come home early and meet with your children and be with them, you may not even know what goes on around them, what they do, and that's another challenge. Also, another challenge we have is there's a lot of secondary parenting these days, because some of us, our children are being parented by maids, others we have TVs. The whole morning when you're not at home, children are on TV, they're on laptops, they're these gadgets, and they're the ones that they're interacting with, not interacting with you physically. So if you're not very careful, you don't know what skills the children are learning from, or which language, or which kind of information they are taking in, the garbage in and garbage out. You know what they are taking in, and so you miss out to know because you don't have time for them, and then because the other people are instilling their own perception, their own worldview, you miss that point, and by the time you want to come and have time with them, they have already moved on, and you cannot instill any skill in your children. So in this 21st century, it's a big challenge for us on how we can raise our children in a better way. As I already mentioned, most of us we are busy. I want to remind us of what Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 3 says, that too much activity gives you restless dreams. So we have so much activity around us, and because of that, we are restless. You don't sleep very well. You're dreaming of this project. You're dreaming of this big project, and you're looking for money here and there. You have this job, but you also have with other side jobs. You have this business. You have this. Maybe you have farm. You have this company. From work, you want to run and first pass at somewhere and do something. Maybe you're a pastor in church, or you're a minister in that church. You're in choir, there's practice. So you hardly have time, even when you have left work. And by the time you want to come to have time with your children, you might find it's too late. But when you intentionally do it, then it can be possible. I am seeing my laptop is trying to be slow a bit. Okay, let's see what happens. I think for the sake of the network, let me remove my video because I don't know why my network is a bit slow. Most of us stop sharing and then we save time. So how do we keep our children engaged or busy as we are with them? One, plan for this whole day together with them. Don't disregard the age of the child. Even if it's a 3-year-old child, you can engage this child and you plan together. You say, what can we do this whole day? How can we work together to make sure that we have a joyful whole day? So ask your child what you think your child can do with you. Let them plan with you. These children are very intelligent. These days, children are very intelligent. And when you give them an opportunity to plan with you, you can show what they're telling you and what they can be able to do. And of course, as you're doing that planning, you're only passing on other skills. They're learning how to plan, how to make decisions, how to solve problems, how to work with you, you're bonding, you're training them. And that person they should work. Everything to be done must start with planning. So plan for this whole day. It's not too late for you to plan with them because today is 5th of December and we still have a lot of time. So you can plan before Christmas. What can we do, guys? We still have like around 20 days. What can we do in this short time? And we plan for our whole day. We plan for Christmas. What kind of Christmas do you want? What should we plan? What should we have this Christmas so that we can make it enjoyable? So plan with them. Sit with them and plan with them. What activities do you want to do? And then as they are telling you, you can be able to monitor and say, okay, but you see, this one needs money. This one is out of our budget. This one we can afford this. But now I would want this activity. What if we do this? All these interactions are good for a child to make up his mind and learn how to plan, how to budget, how again to make decisions. And you're not just passing on one skill, but you're doing other things alongside that. So please, let's just sit and plan with your children. As these children are at home, don't now let them be on gadgets and then they are watching TV. They are just doing their own things. They are sleeping and then they are waking up anytime. Maybe they wake up at 9, take tea, then go back to sleep because they have come back from school. They are tired. Don't want them to do anything. And then it's the housemates who are doing things for them. Please train your children to do house chores at home. Have choice of various activities that they can do. I want to give us the woman that the Bible talks about in Proverbs 31 from verse 10, the story of the virtuous woman. I know that the Bible talks so much about this woman, what she can do, how she wakes up very early in the morning, and then she gathers food for her children. She looks for clothes. She's a merchant. These things. She does merchant somewhere. Like the Bible talks about many things about this lady. And then the Bible says that her children and her husband are proud of her. They praise her, And also this woman also makes her husband known in the city among the elders. A very good CV for which woman, for what a kind of woman you should marry if you're a BU. But also if you're an SU, you should know what kind of woman you should be when you get married. And if you're already married and maybe you don't know what you should be doing, you have a job description. That scripture can give you a job description. So think about that. What would you want your child to be tomorrow? If you want your child to be that kind of a woman, or your son to be that kind of a man, if you now look at the other side of the story from a man's perspective, are you doing the same today? Can you take them and you read the scriptures for your children and tell them, my daughter, look at this woman. What do you think about this woman? So think about it. Again, 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 10 talks about someone who does not work. That if you don't work, you should not eat. So let your children work. Teach them that it is scripture that if you don't work, then you shall have no food. So engage them in house chores. I know all of us at home we have different things, and you can also make them age appropriate. Just plan with them or tell them, or make a schedule and tell them, for you, you're going to be doing A, B, C, D. Now, like for us, our children they already have a schedule and they know what they should be doing, who's going to do what when. And when you do this, you are passing on skills for them to learn many things, and tomorrow they will not be stranded. Remember, time will come when they will not be in your hands. Maybe they are working far from you, or they have gone for further studies, that they're staying out of the country, or they're now staying in a hostel, they're staying in a hall, and they have to feed themselves. You are not to be there with them. They have to wash clothes for themselves. Some of us are in boarding schools. I remember when I was at campus, and I've had even stories more and more times. We had a girl who would put on clothes from Monday up to Friday, then on Saturday, she packs all of them, she takes them home for the maid to wash them. Can you imagine? A girl who was more than 20 years could not wash clothes for herself. I also had other stories. Someone who doesn't know how to cook food. The only thing they know how to cook is rice, and of course in a rice cooker. That's what they can. That's the best thing they can cook. Not even Irish. So where there's no cooker, where there's no these things, these gadgets at home, our children are just useless. So think about it. So train them to do different activities so that they know that they have to be trained. Recently, what happened for us now, I want to give this example. This weekend, our niece had an introduction. And so in Uganda, so our mother went with our maid for that function. For us, we didn't go. My wife was out of the country, and I was home with children. And also had an engagement over the weekend, so I couldn't go. Now, they were supposed to be going on Saturday and coming back. So we agreed with our girl. Before she goes, she prepares for us lunch and supper. I'm not so good at cooking. I want to be sincere to you, but at least I can try, because I learned when I was still young. So we agreed that she prepares food for us, and then she goes. So Saturday was covered, and I know by the time she comes back, there's no problem. So they didn't come because the function ended late. Sunday morning, I thought maybe they would come very early. It rained heavily. And where they were, they had to use border, so it was far from the main road. And our mother is somehow sickly, so they couldn't risk putting her on a border when it was still raining, so they decided they can come back later. I tell you, we went to church and came back at around midday. So I told my children, you know what? It is now us, we must do things together. We cooked. I peeled matoke. We worked together. We put food. I know each one of us was being engaged. I know actually, even from Saturday, were giving me ideas that let's do this. And actually, they came and told me that is, you know what, instead of serving food like this, just do like this, so to minimize on having many utensils to wash, because they knew they're the ones to wash. So they said, just, they were just saying that they said we should do self-service, because they wanted to serve themselves. She's here with me and she's listening, so she's telling me what they were doing. And so Saturday we did self-service, we served ourselves, we were very joyful. Sunday we food for ourselves, lunch, and then they came late. So by the time they came in the evening, when we were already preparing supper, me and my girl and my boys, and it was good. But I asked myself, now, if I did not know how to do these things, what would I have done? And of course, COVID taught us. So please, this whole day, engage your children doing house chores. And of course, also remember that when you, as this maid comes in, and then you tell this maid, do this, and you train how to cook good food for your children and for your husband, and you teach her all these things. Your children are just there seated and they're not doing these things. I tell you, this maid is going to leave your house when she's skilled, and she's going to get into her marriage and do these good things for her husband and for her children. And then for you, when your children are old, they cannot do these things for their husbands, for their families. You remember this video clip where a girl was saying, after 1 week of marriage, she was saying, Daddy, please come and pick me. This man wants me to serve him food. And he comes at night. Me, I hadn't cooked, and now he's on my neck, but I must always serve him food. Please, if you have not eaten his gifts, can you kindly bring them back? Or even if you already used them, please let's look for money and refund him his money. But me, I'm tired of this marriage. After 1 week of marriage. So you can imagine, do you want your child to be like that? Think about it. The choice is yours. But look at that. And remember what we read in Proverbs 6:6. You want your children to be that kind of sluggard who are lazy, who cannot do things for themselves, and they have no skills at all. But you can do it, and you can even apportion this work according to the age. So, and it's better you make them comparison, make house chores comparison, so that they learn For me, I was impressed that all of us had different things we're doing. We watched utensils. Some I actually didn't know how to write because I've taken a long time. But since I got married, the film has been doing a good job for me. I think this was like my third time to cook alone when no one's at home. So I read a cook. So, but they watched utensils. They would come and help me to write the CD. I did not struggle because they were in charge. We were all in charge and helping each other. They watched and I watched the utensils, help them, make sure everything is in control. And I was excited, just the four of us. So prepare your children for the future, not preparing the future for them. So as you prepare them for the future, that means that you are trying to help them be the ones to think of how their future can be. But if you prepare the future for them, you're just spoiling them and killing them. So you can even decide to give a maid a holiday and some leave to go home, or maybe if she's at home with you, stay there, but she can have a leave and also enjoy. And as children are getting engaged, or you can tell her now to pass on the skills, train the children in doing these things. Let them wash with her, or him, let them cook with him, or her, let them do all these things together. Again, this whole day, as we are keeping our children busy, as we're engaging with them, create time, quality and sufficient time with them. I just take a leave. For me, I want to begin my leave next week. Prim is also beginning her leave the same time because we want to make sure to be at home fully with our children. When you come back in the evening, make sure that you create time. At least even if even if you're too tired and they're already asleep, at least go in the bedroom and lay hands on them and personal blessing. Pray for a blessing. What Numbers chapter 6 verse 6 says, the blessing. And this is how you should always pray for your children. Pray for your children. Let them know that yes, that it always comes and prays for us. In the morning when you're going and you know that you can come back and check on them. At least also again pass on the blessing. Pray for them, even if they're still asleep. But as long as you have that's short time with them, utilize it, maximize it as if there's no tomorrow. Weekends, use them perfectly. So, and also leave time of if you're at work and it's 5, think of leaving office. You know, today you are there, but the day you will die and leave that office, in the next 1 minute, there's be another person. They remember what happened to our speaker. Before he was buried, we had another speaker. And this is something that is open. So, if you don't spend time with your children now, you might spend it tomorrow when they're in the rehabilitation. And you're there with them in a rehabilitation, you're talking with them, you're taking them to rehabilitation centers. You know, you're stressed over nothing because you never had any bonding with them, you never had any time with them, and now you're struggling to bring them back to you. Have meals together as a family. I remember recently when we hosted, when the family hosted the ceremonies, and they were sharing about how meal time has created that chance of bonding with their children. I was so much impressed. I want to say, always have meals with your children. And on the dining table, you know, these days things are changing. You find that the people in the house, they are together in the house, but then when it comes time for food, each one takes they come and serve on the dining table, and each one of them goes anywhere and they sit wherever. Some go to their bedroom. Like there's no order, there's no sanity in the house. And some of them don't want, children don't have appetite, and then you say, oh, okay, you don't have appetite tonight. It's okay, my child, you can leave. But you remember, if your children do not take food as medicine now, they will be taking the medicine tomorrow as what? As food. You will have these problems. So please, that meal time, you also learn many things. You know, I remember for us when we were growing up, they used to for us we used to sit down because we eat from the kitchen. So we just sit down. And then they tell you, when you're sitting down, please don't sit like this. Don't put your hand down. You know, don't gas. When you gas, it was bad. When you're eating, don't talk when you have food in the mouth. So they will be able to be taught of these good things. They help us in public now. Because you know, there's things which I can't do in the public because I grew up knowing that my parents would say ABCD. Please have that time, because that's when you know the eating habits of your children, table etiquettes, you know, these things. That's when you can be able to observe what your children do and guide them on the best way they can do things. So, members, make sure that your children are with you. And of course, when they are eating with you, that means they are concentrating, they don't lose focus. If it means turn off TV, turn it off. First, we have always done it when they are not concentrating. We have turned off TV so that we are all together in the same spirit. I also want to talk about personal skills development. or personal and skills development. Friends, these children, they're also human beings. They also need their personal development. They also need to have skills that are going to build them and help them tomorrow. Remember what happened to us in COVID when all of us were sent home? We are just there. For me, this COVID just found me in the farm. I was just gardening. And this is a skill that I learned from my parents. It's not that I liked gardening, but because it was a skill that was passed on, now time came when now that I'm mature, I have my own farm. So gardening is not now a big problem. I'm not the one who does it on a daily basis. I have workers, but when I go there, I know what they are supposed to be doing. So as I monitor them, we have not done A, B, C, D. Please do A, B, C, D. And I want you to do like this. So I am able to monitor and I know what they are doing because I know those things. I learned them when I was still a child. That time we would think that maybe our parents were not serious, they were mistreating us, but we learned. So teach your children what they should be doing. You can teach them how to lay their beds. You can teach them how to bathe themselves. You can teach them how to wash utensils. Teach them how to cook. I can say that for Anta is talking about cooking eggs. I know these simple things. Look at, teach them baking, teach them graphic designs, take them to mechanics so they can learn simple mechanics, driving. You are here, you're a parent, you have children at the university, and you have a car or 2 cars, and none of your children know how to drive a car. That's a big shame. I'm sorry to mention that word like that. And then you're the one struggling to take the car to the garage, you're the one struggling to take the car to the washing bay. If you're sick, you have to look for some. If your wife doesn't also know how to drive, you have to be intentional, you have to look for someone to come and drive you. But you have all these children mature, old enough who do not know how to drive. You can even start teaching your child, even if your child is in P7, P6, and P7, 10 years and above, each of the child can learn how to drive. So that in the morning, they are the ones who should wake up early, take the car outside, check if everything is okay. If the car needs cleaning, let them clean it. It shouldn't be your work. So by the time you go to office, you have a clean car because your children know what to do. So smaller things, take them for financial literacy classes. It is still early for them to learn these skills. Let them know computer, teach them computer. I know these days, of course, our schools are now teaching ICT, but for you, are they so much practical? Do they know it very well? So even at home, they can learn these things. And I know that by the time they are grown up, they will be so much different from others. The problem is that our mindset is focused on formal education, and of course, not our education is so much theoretical. Thank God of the curriculum now, especially in secondary school, which has changed, and now they are teaching them practical things. But not for us who are old, who have not gone, because now the pioneers of this curriculum are going to senior 4. So that means most of us here are the generation that doesn't know anything to do with what these people are doing. Some of us, so we are still struggling to interpret their reports. But what I'm talking about, now that our education was theoretical and it was about white-collar jobs, not creating jobs for ourselves and for others. And you now be challenged to make sure that your children can become job creators, make them creative and innovative, depending on how you're training them. Take them from music classes, look for someone who can train them in something. So that by the time they finish this whole day, at least they have learned something that can benefit them tomorrow. Take your children out if you have time. If you don't have time during the week and you're busy, now just be intentional, also creating time for your outings. And this outing is actually something they don't need to be very expensive. For me, one thing that I like about my wife, when she has time, she takes an opportunity of walking with them around. You find them walking in the compound. And sometimes she takes them somewhere like at UCU. They just go, and then she just give them an opportunity to play football. We made sure that every month we always take at least one of us has to take as a child for an outing. And then you take a child there and you discuss with the child, you're just having fun together. You ask, so what is your life? You talk about anything. You just have a conversation, and then that's when the child opens up. If you want to know how your children are doing in certain aspects of life, listen to them. And they may never tell you from when they're at home, but take them outside and let them have fun. Before you know it, they will be drunk of fun, and they will tell you what is around their lives, how they don't care for them, how they hate the other person, how dad is not good, how mommy is not good in this area. You can ask them about between dad and mommy, who does this and where, what do you think? So that you know what your children are thinking about you. And then when you come back, you put your house in order and you say, my dear, my husband, my wife, my child has told us ABC. I think we need to do better in this area and like this and this. All this can be known when you have that ample time with your children. Please invest in your children. don't invest for them. You're going to invest for them. You're just struggling, working for them, hustling in many things and here and there, looking for them. Can't put things together, earning a living for the sake of your children tomorrow. And then you go and invest in these projects. You put up rentals. You have so many projects here and there. You have so many good houses that are being rented out for their future. You want them to come and appreciate that they did work for us. But when they are not part of these things, and because you're not investing in them, and not when you're talking about investing in them, you're teaching them life skills. Tomorrow they will say all these things. I remember when Zima died. That time they were talking of how his families were fighting for his wealth, how they were selling his property like nothing. We've heard of so many stories of rich men. Remember what happened to Mr. Tuwanuka, the husband of former Minister of Finance, Maria Tuwanuka. When his son went to court to declare that his father is insane, he can't think very well, and so he should be given the right to manage his property. Can you imagine? So that means these children, there was no investment in these children, but the parents were struggling to invest for them, but not investing that. Now it's nothing against them. This morning I was watching a clip of an Indian man, a billionaire. I think it is a billionaire. He has been saving, so because now he's aging, he put all his wealth in the names of his son, and the son has chased him out of the house. He was saying that what has helped him to keep calm is just because he didn't pass some wealth. He didn't give him all his money, all his accounts. He just kept some accounts for himself, and that's what is sustaining him. But he doesn't greet him. He looks at him as nothing. All his wealth he passed on to his child, but now the child cannot know that it's the father who did this. Now, what a curse this child will get from his father, because his father now is struggling and he can't believe it. It was really talking, and it was alarming. Now, this student at home, and you want them to learn many things. Please, I want to challenge us. Please, let's minimize or manage or silence gadgets in our house. Minimize the time these children are on these gadgets. If they are on TV, regardless of the age, make sure to control them. Put time limits. So because you want them to learn other things, tell them that you're going to be watching between this time and this time. And if you don't do it, you will not be able to watch. I tell you, children will do whatever you tell them because they know what they are going to lose. So don't allow the children to be on TV the whole day, because it also spoils them, their eyes, their sight, these challenges. But also what they are watching on TV, you don't know what it means to them. Of course, there are good things with TV or with other gadgets as well. But remember, the more they are on these gadgets, the more they get addicted. And tomorrow you'll be spending a lot of money to treat that addiction in those rehabilitation centers. My friend has a rehabilitation center, and he was saying that he charges 2.5 every week with those children. And he said, I also know other places where they charge the same money almost daily. But for me, because I'm a Christian, I charge 2.5. And people are like, why? That is too much money. So you don't know what happens there, but we do a lot of things. So do you have that money to put in your child that you're going to, I can say that you're going to be wasting when you can use it now and you do something better for these children tomorrow? Limits, as these children are with you over this whole day, limit the amount of money you give them. Because you give them money, especially for these adults, the adolescents and these older children. They will be saying, Dad, leave us with this money, and then you give them money without thinking that these children can escape in the night and they will go and use this money for these other things. Or during the day when you're not at home, they will be using this money for other evil things without your knowledge. Of course, sometimes our children pretend to be so much born again, so much holy than they really, because they saying that you want to be holy than the Pope. No, they will be showing that they are very holy, but if you don't understand them very clearly, find some of them even in the night or during the day when you're not at home, the ones who are doing things that you cannot even imagine. So please, as you engage with your children, you want them to be nice and look happy and appreciate, limit how much money you give them so that they don't get spoiled with that money. Now, get a job for your child, especially the universities who are going to be with you for the next 7 months or 8 months or more time. Create a job for them. Get them a job. You can take them to your office and they work with you. If you have an office, right, you can be allowed to give them something to work with them. They can work as secretaries, as cleaners, as office attendants. You can create a job for them for anything. If you have mobile money business, take them. If you have a canteen, you have a restaurant, take them. Or talk to your friend. Let them take them and they learn from there. You never know. This skill that the child is going to get now, they can become his profession tomorrow. Or this skill that the child is going to learn now, they will help him tomorrow in that office management, on that job that he's going to get tomorrow. So please, just make sure you help your child to get a job. And of course, this could be, some of them can get voluntary jobs, because some jobs are called voluntary, but sometimes there are some allowances that can help. Some of these allowances can help your child. Some also get paid jobs. So that's something to be done. Do something. Use your connections. Now this is the saying of Gamba no. Use your connections, you Gamba no, so that your child can be connected somewhere and you get something. Or search a job for your child. Do it together and you search for a job. When there is willingness to work, your child will gain some professional skills, and tomorrow these skills can become a hub for his life. As these students are at home and they are getting engaged in different things, but also because you also don't know what is happening, make sure that you, even when they have a schedule and they're doing A, B, C, D, take time and monitor what they are doing at home. If you are busy at work, at least make a phone call and say, "Hi, my children. Can I talk to Deborah? Can I talk to Dickson? My children, I'm just mentioning my children's name. Can I talk to David?" And talk to each one of them. So what are you doing? So this one will tell you something. I said, "But Daddy, but Mama Dickson is lying. He was doing A, B, C, D. Even the tone, the way they're talking, the way they're, okay, this one is lying, this one is taking this one is speaking the truth, this one is saying something that is not true." You'll be able to gauge and know what they are doing. So monitor and say, "Have you done what you're supposed to be doing? What time did you do this? I left you with your homework. What time did you do it? You're supposed to be doing A, B, C, D. Have you done it? Have you bathed? Have you taken your lunch? What time did you take your breakfast?" Because there's some children who don't have appetite, and eating is a struggle. So if you don't monitor and know how, if the child, and ask your maid or ask to the child, convince the child to eat, the child will not eat at all. But your engagement can help this child to eat. These ones who like to be on gadgets and they are there the whole day, you can monitor. If you don't know how to monitor on phone calls, or maybe if you're near and you can come back and check on them, maybe install cameras in your house. Use cameras. Use your people at home and say, "Have they done ABC?" Use your neighbors. Use your friends. Or you can also do all these things. You can also do these checks and know what is happening. But if your child is doing nothing, you're able to say, "But I want you to be engaged in A, B, C, D. I want you to do your homework and finish in time." So take time and make sure these things are done. Always have open and honest conversation with them. Can talk about sexual education, self-management, relationships, drugs, substance abuse, and more of these things. So that your children, they know what they're supposed to be doing. Self-management is something that we don't take serious. The child doesn't know how to bathe himself. They don't know what they should be doing. Your child who's older, especially my boys, I always monitor their bathrooms. You go there and like, "My goodness, what is happening here?" You go to their bedroom and everything is disorganized. And you're like, "My God, have mercy upon me." And then you tell them you must do A, B, C, D. And then you talk about some things, you ask them, "How can you go about this? How do you do this?" Before you know it, you're bonding, but also doing so many things. Watch movies together, engage children in church activities. Now we're going for Christmas carols. Let them participate in Christmas carols. It is you to create time and make sure that you provide transport for them, or you send them, or you get someone who can take them for you if you don't have time. But let them must be engaged. Have daily family altars and devotions. Hebrews 10:25 tells us that we should not neglect the habit of meeting together, as it was the custom of the apostles. What is the custom in your family? How often do you meet together as a family? I want to tell you, prayer as a family means a lot. I want to remind us also of chapter 1 Corinthians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. So always pray with your children without ceasing. If you're not at home, they should know this is our custom, and they should also be able to do the fellowship without your engagement. So teach them to be independent and to do these things. Have all-day camps. I know I have seen many people already doing virtual camps. Just Saturday, Deborah was engaged. I mentioned they were engaged in virtual camp. There are going to be other camps the whole day before December and January, before children go back to school. Engage them. Let them go for these trainings, for these camps. They will learn something. Let them also do a holiday package. Can give them this break, but at least beginning with January, make sure they have finished their holiday package. Friends, as we conclude, I want to say that think about character development in your children. Give them heritage, not inheritance. What they want is not you, it's not to inherit your things, which they may not even use. Give them heritage, and before you know it, all things will be well done. I want to remind us what Proverbs 1:7 says: the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Teach your children to be wise and work for themselves and to be discerning, to be so creative and innovative. And then God will bless them as He blessed Solomon. I will not go beyond this because of time, but I wish you the best. Please, I want to end with this verse, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. The things you have heard me say among many witnesses, pass them on to others. These things that you have heard, pass them on to your children. These things that you have heard, if you have learned something, and maybe your friend was not here, at least I know that you have picked something. Go home and tell someone, my dear, you can do this. If your spouse is not at home, when the spouse comes, share these things together. Because you may not have time to watch this, you may not have time to watch the YouTube message or the recording, or maybe to have these the slides, but you can share what you have learned and what you think you can improve this whole day. Whatever you have not been doing, go and do it. What you have been doing, improve on it. What you have been doing excellently, tick, bravo. But above all, my parting shot is that your children be so much engaged. Don't think that when they are just there doing nothing, you're helping them, you're killing them, because tomorrow you will not be with them, and they will begin their families, their own families, and they will struggle. So be a role model in making sure that what you're doing now, what you want your children to be tomorrow, they are doing it now. Because what you do today, it's like when people are talking about retirement, what you're doing today determines what you'll be doing tomorrow during your retirement. So what your children are doing today is the same thing that you'll be doing tomorrow when they are independent, when they are alone, when they have their own families. So do that today, and tomorrow you will not regret. May God bless you so much.